understand the secretariat of the Uplift Committee. So gusto ho namin rinig yung updates from the Uplift Committee as well as the government interventions. We go to DSWD after the OTR and DA, and they will open the floor for questions. So you have 10 minutes, Yusek Puno.
Yes. Mr. Chair, honorable members of the committee, fellow resource persons and stakeholders, good morning. I'm Joseph Capuno, Undersecretary of the Department of Economy, Planning and Development. On behalf of SEC-RC Balisacan and DepDep, we thank the committee for this opportunity to provide an update on the government's response to the effects of the Middle East tensions now happening. As the Secretariat to the Uplift Committee, DepDep is presenting today a consolidated view of measures being carried out across government based on the latest available updates from the concerned agencies. I will briefly cover the implementation status, available budget information, selected accomplishments, and the next steps being pursued by the different committee members. Since the other members of the committee, Uplift Committee, are here, they could perhaps also provide finer details and later updates of their respective programs and interventions. Next slide, please. This is just to show you that since the EO 110 was issued, the committee, Uplift Committee, has been meeting regularly every Tuesday. The purpose of the meeting is to provide updates, monitor accomplishments, solve possible bottlenecks and implementation issues, and anticipate and prepare for other evolving contingencies. Next slide. The Uplift response is organized around 5 pillars. The first one is saving lives, which covers OFW, repatriation, and reintegration. Second is ensuring sufficient fuel supply, which includes PNOCEC procurement, source diversification, and inventory monitoring. Third is supporting affected and vulnerable sectors, covering drivers, commuters, farmers, fisher folks, and affected households through cash relief, fuel support, service contracting, rice support, producer assistance, and the LPG and kerosene excess tax suspension. Fourth is ensuring electricity supply and keeping power cost low through power market, grid, SPAG, renewable energy, and other energy-saving measures. And the fifth pillar is keeping food, medicine, and drug prices low through monitoring price commitments, food and rice measures, medicine price monitoring, and logistics support. Now, supporting these 5 pillars is a responsive and responsible fiscal management. Next slide. On the budget side, DBM reported that as of April 24, 2026, there is a total response funding base of about 238.6 billion in appropriations. Of this amount, 130.4 billion has already been released as allotments, 53.5 billion has been obligated, and just as you mentioned earlier, Mr. Chair, 41.6 billion pesos has already been disbursed out of this amount. The said amount is drawn from FY 2026 GAA items, FY 2025 continuing appropriations, and FY 2026 automatic appropriations. Now, for possible follow-on support, DBM also identified an additional 151.28 billion pesos in additional funding requirements, and the bulk of which will support the different interventions or measures of DSWD, DA, DOTR, OWA, DMW, and others. Now, for the funding side, DBM also identified around 155 billion in possible sources, including savings from unobligated allotments and possible funding through a bayanihan type measure. Next slide. For saving lives, the government continues to support affected OFWs and their families. As of April 24, about 33,000 OFWs with requests had already been assisted by the government. From March 5 to April 23, around 5,700 OFWs and 1,600 dependents from the Middle East have already come back here in the country. or a total of 7,414 arrivals. As of the same reporting period, 74 OFWs are still awaiting repatriation. The support that the government provides to our returning OFWs include temporary shelter, medical aid, transportation, financial assistance, psychosocial support, and reintegration services. Now, for the fuel supply, as of April 17, 2026, the government had secured an average available fuel supply of for about 52 days. DBM has released 20 billion pesos to DOE for procurement support, targeting an additional 10 days of buffer stock. Meanwhile, PNOC has ordered and confirmed around 1.12 million barrels of diesels, with deliveries ongoing. Next slide. For the affected and vulnerable sectors, several targeted channels are already in place. For IX relief, DSWD reported that from March 17 to April 20, 2026, more than 1 million transport workers were already served, with about 5.34 billion pesos distributed for the purpose. For the fuel subsidy program, the budget is about 2.5 billion, and as of April 16, 1.2 billion pesos has already been disbursed, covering more than 189,000 PUB units and more than 58,000 drivers. For the 10 peso per liter fuel discount, as of April 19, 1,671 unique PUBs had used the program, with more than 4,700 transactions covered and more than 526,000 pesos in subsidy made available already. Now, for the service contracting, as of April 20, 10,000 PUBs and 50 routes were already covered, with more than 3.78 million pesos dispersed already. Next slide. For power, food, medicine, and logistics, the objective here is to limit the second round effects of higher fuel costs. On electricity, WESM operations were suspended effective March 26, 2026, with modified administered pricing. Meralco's actual April increase was only 53 centavos per kilowatt hour, lower than the earlier projected range of between 4 to 9 pesos per kilowatt